Hello, everybody. Welcome in. This is Nancy from Rise Higher Astrology, and today is May 8th, 2025. And today we're looking at the position of the moon, the transiting moon. And the reason why we look at this is because the moon represents the public, it represents public sentiment. So every day when we look at where the moon is positioned, what nakshatra it sits in, the lunar mansion, what zodiac sign it sits in. It will give you a flavor of what is going on in the world. So today on May 8th, the moon sits in sidereal Virgo and it's making an opposition, a 180-degree opposition right across that zodiac to the stellium that sits in sidereal Pisces. The reason why we look at the sidereal chart and not the tropical chart is because the sidereal is where the true location of the planets are at the time of this recording. So there is this opposition from the moon to the stellium here, and when the moon is in Virgo, there is a tendency for us to be a little bit critical, not a little bit, sometimes a lot critical of others. So today you're feeling this. You're a little bit annoyed. We also have the sun that is starting to make an inconjunct with the moon. And then we have Pluto, which is trining the moon exactly at 9 degrees. So this is an energy that it feels uncomfortable. It can be a little bit annoying. So if you find yourself being critical of others today, or if you're just, if nothing nobody can say anything right today, um just back off a little bit, understand what's happening with the moon. With all of this energy that's being thrown at it, and just breathe, because this too shall pass. We have this thing called a Kala Sarpa yoga that's happening with all the planets right now. In Vedic astrology, a Kala Sarpa yoga is when all of the traditional planets, okay, because they don't use the three outer planets in Vedic astrology, when all of the planets are hemmed into one side of the north and south node, which is Rahu and Ketu. When this happens, it creates something called the Kalasarpa Yoga. And I see this in many people's charts. It's when you experience really high highs and really low lows. But whenever you go to a low, you will always bounce back to an even greater high. So right now, all the planets are located in between the two nodes, and it's creating this Kalasarpa yoga, except for the moon. Now, the moon will go in and out of this yoga every 2 weeks. It'll go in and then pop back out. So right now, the moon is popping out of this Kalasarpa yoga. So there is a shift in energy for the last part of this month coming. You're going to be feeling it. And now the Kalasarpa yoga effect will end completely as Mars edges past the south node in the last week of July. But until then, from now until that time in July, we're going to be experiencing a couple of weeks of extreme ups and then a couple of weeks of some lows. So it is going to be a roller coaster. You just really need to hang in there and breathe. Remember today, don't be too critical, also don't be too critical of yourself. Okay. And that's one of the challenges with Virgo, is that they love the details. They're extremely dependable, extremely responsible, but they tend to be really critical of themselves. Um, don't do that to yourself today. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. The other thing I want to give you a heads up on is that the moon is still within its conjunction with the south node, which is K2. And when this happens, people are not thinking clearly. They're not really well, how should I put it? They got one foot in the astral plane, I guess, and the other foot in this world. So make sure that when you're driving, you pay attention, put your phone down. Hopefully you do that anyway, but put your phone down. Pay attention when you come to a stop sign. Look left, look right, look left again. We're heading into the springtime months here in the northern hemisphere, and this is a time when people are riding their motorcycles. So you just want to be careful to be fully aware of where you are and where you're heading. Okay. All right. I'm sending lots of great energy towards you. Love and light to everyone. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.